What is a computer? A computer is a machine that can be instructed to carry out specific tasks or operations using computer language. Modern computers have the ability to follow instructions and to run programs. Programs allow the computer to perform an extremely wide range of tasks. What is hardware assembly? Hardware assembly is a process that involves assembling components. In this document, we will focus more on computers, specifically workstations and personal computers. How to build a computer. Before you start, make sure all the components you buy work with each other. So before you get started, you should head on over to pcpartpicker.com. It's an excellent website that allows you to collect your parts, view recommended builds, and see pricing from various sellers. This site will warn you if the components you are putting together are not compatible with one another. Components you'll need. Central Processing Unit. The CPU is like your PC's brain. It processes everything. You have two choices in the CPU: World, Intel, or AMD. Cooling. Cooling keeps all your PC's components cool and operating at the right temperature. It stops components from overheating. Motherboard. The motherboard is like your computer's backbone. It holds everything together. This is probably the component you should spend the most time researching. Random access memory, RAM, short-term storage. RAM may be one of the most important parts of your computer, but it's one of the easiest components to pick. Storage, long-term storage. Hard drive disk, HDD, or solid-state drive, SSD, are one of the fundamental components in a computer after the ones listed above, as these are used to save digital data on a computer. Power supply unit, PSU. Power supply handles all your electricity needs. It converts alternating current, AC line, to direct current, DC. Graphics card, GPU. This component is not essential. It all depends on what you plan on using your computer for. A GPU is an expansion card which assists a computer to output images to a display device. There are two types of GPUs: discrete graphics and integrated graphics. Discrete GPUs are built into the motherboard and cannot be replaced, and integrated graphics are mounted onto the motherboard using a computer expansion slot, meaning this component can be replaced or upgraded in future. A computer case or chassis is an enclosure that is used to house your components. Cases can come in many different sizes, and it depends on the size of the motherboard and power supply unit you choose to use. Peripherals and accessories. These are devices and sensors used to enter information and instructions into your computer. These are items such as a keyboard, mouse, speaker or speakers, headphones, and so on. The build. Once you know all the components you need to buy, the rest of the process is basically just putting together the puzzle pieces. You'll need a Starhead Phillips head screwdriver. Unbox everything, but don't remove the anti-static plastics on the components. Protect the components. Ground yourself, removing any static electricity from your body to prevent short-circuiting any components. It basically involves touching an unpainted metal surface on the case, simply touching the metal tip of a screwdriver, or just wear an ESD, electrostatic discharge grounding wrist strap. Get your motherboard ready and install the CPU. Make sure it's in the right orientation, facing the right way up. It should drop in place with ease and pull the lever down all the way. Install the cooler. This unit sits on top of the CPU. Follow the guide for your specific unit and make sure to apply thermal paste if it doesn't already have it. Thermal paste helps keep the CPU cool. Insert your RAM into the slots. Make sure it's inserted properly. such that the little clips on the sides snap all the way in. Screw in your motherboard. Cases usually come with standoffs to lift your motherboard a bit from the case. Make sure you use them. Install the Power PSU. Mount your storage onto your PC. This varies depending on your case and storage type. An M.2 SSD plugs directly into your motherboard, while most others can be attached to your case via screws or special slots. You'll attach them to your motherboard via cable later. Install your graphics card into the PCIe slot. Make sure it's all the way in. It uses a clip to the RAM slot. Connect the wires. Now comes the wiring stage. Now you then have to wire everything. Your motherboard's manual is the most useful resource, as it should precisely label which cable goes where. Most cables can only fit in one slot, which makes it easier to identify where it goes. Switch on the computer. Once you've double-checked all the connections, you can close your case and plug in your accessories and check if your computer switches on. If it doesn't switch on, just check all your connections, making sure everything is connected. Finally, install operating system.